the topic Crack PTE in first attempt. We are going to talk about the smart strategies for the aspirant to clear the Pearson test of English. So, what is Pearson test of English? So, like we have IELTS, we have TOEFL test for foreign English language. So, likewise, we have Pearson test of English, which is globally accepted across various countries such as UK, Canada, Australia, even United States is accepting Pearson test of English to test the English capability of the student as well as the person who is looking for immigration and who's willing to migrate to any other English countries. Okay, so previously this particular subject will talk about, these slides will talk about the comparison of the previous PTE uh, exam format, what has changed from August 7, 2025 till now, and also we are going to talk about the different modules. So if you are new to PTE, that's still okay. If you are already aware of the Pearson test of English, that is still okay. We are going to talk about each and every aspect of PTE, which will help us to crack the PTE in first attempt. Okay. So Pearson test of English, actually, it has two different types of test. One is PTE core and another one is PTE academic. So PTE academic is designed only for those students who are planning for the higher studies or who are planning for studies abroad in Australia, in UK. Likewise, PTE core is for the students, but in Canada. Okay, so the people who are aspiring to settle down in Canada, PTE core will be accepted there. So there is slight difference between PTE academic and PTE core, though we have four modules in PTE core: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. We have the same four modules in PTE core as well. But what changes we have in PTE core and academic as we move forward in the coming slides, we are going to talk about that. Okay, so let's move on to the first slide. Here, if you are looking for the Pearson test of English, okay, this is about the CGC. I guess you are uh, aware of CGC, Career Guidance Council. It's been more than 15 years now. We've been scheduling these sessions on the different topics. Every weekend, our Shoaib sir is helping us and coordinating with the different people who are master in their subject so that it will benefit to the aspirant. Okay. So the overall objective is to reach out and spread the awareness of the current job market and studies. Okay, here PT academic is a computer based test like IELTS is not a computer based. You will have to use a pen and paper to write the IELTS. You will be given headset and a computer and the erasable notepad for PT academic for writing the examination. Likewise, we will have to practice on the computer itself. If you are practicing orally, like we cannot mug up mathematics, we cannot solve the problems orally, we will require pen and paper. Likewise, for PTE academic, for PTE core, if you are studying, you require a laptop, you would require a phone so that you can. Laptop is much preferable, which laptop or desktop, which will help you to practice timely. Okay, each module has a different time slot. So even PTE academic has a speaking, writing, and listening module. And what is PTE? PTE is the English test. It's not some other test because the modules that you're going to see over there, okay, in the upcoming slide, you will assume that okay, are they trying to test our memory? Are they trying to test something else? But it's not. It's a purely English language. So you will have to focus on our English language and we'll have to be very fluent. So what do they really test for? They test for grammar. You should be a few of the modules, they look for your grammar. Few of the modules, they look only for the oral fluency. Few of the module, they look for oral fluency as well as spellings and vocabulary. So what are those modules? which will look for grammar, which will look for oral fluency, what do they require, we are going to see in the upcoming slides. Okay. And PTE's complete module has the integrated scoring mechanism. What this means is if you are attempting the speaking module, then you will be uh, asked to listen to audio, write the notes and speak for those modules. So it is testing your speaking capability as well as your listening capability. So you will be scored for speaking as well as for listening for few of the modules. For example, in writing, you will have to read something and write. So it will test your reading skills as well as your writing skills. So each module, let's say if you're attempting speaking modules, then it will not only score the speaking module, but it will score to score the other modules as well. How is that possible? We are going to talk about in the upcoming slides. So duration is 2 hours. So there are three different parts here. So first part will be the introduction. The moment uh, book the test on the test day, you will see the first module will be introduction. It is not timed module. You will have to just introduce yourself, saying that, okay, I'm here. My name is Atik bin Saad. I'm here to write the Pearson test of English for immigration purposes or for higher studies, whatever you are looking for. Okay. Then it will start the speaking module and writing. Both will start at the same time, one after the other. The first is speaking and the writing. From starting speaking to listening, there will be 22 different questions and you will be judged upon all those 22 questions. Okay. So what has changed from August 7, 2025 is the scoring mechanism. Previously, if you wanted to score 7 bands in PTE, you would require to score 65 marks in each module, listening, writing, speaking, and reading. But after 7th of August, it has changed. Listening, if you score 58, and reading, if you score 59, and writing, if you score 69, and 76 in speaking, then you score 7 bands. However, for 8 bands, you will have to score 69 for listening, 70 for reading, 85 for writing, and 88 for speaking. So the overall marks is out of 90. It's not out of 100. So if you have a question, will it be possible to score 88 in speaking? Yes, it is possible. I have written approximately 8 to 10 times PTE and I have scored 90 all the times. So it is possible. If you have any questions, then you can stop me anywhere or we can have the question and answer session at the end of the session. Whatever you feel. If you have a question in between, please use the chat option on the top and you can ask the question and we can proceed from there. Okay, Ahmed has raised his hand. Ahmed, you can unmute yourself and please ask the question.
Yes. I have attended multiple interview test, Pearson test in Amazon, Deloitte. So they are not able to say the score, and just they say you are not qualified. So we don't know where we are lacking, and I have attended almost 10 to 15 times, but a single time I was not qualified for that test,
What
which
module do
makes
they
me.
have? Do they have the same modules that we have in describe, image, read aloud?
Yes, same
Okay.
module.
So you will have to work on your English communication, and the best way to test if we are qualified or not, book the official mock test in PTE. Where do
Okay.
you find the official mock test? I'll help you out with
Yes.
that. Okay,
Okay.
give me a minute, okay?
Sure.
So this is the PTE official website. Okay,
Okay.
click on
Yes.
book your test now. It will hardly cost about $10 for you to, for
Okay.
which country if you're looking for. If you're looking for Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, whatever. So let's
Okay.
select Australia for now. Study,
Mm.
work, or migrate. Let's say for studies. Okay, check the availability and book.
Okay.
Once you click on that, here you will get the option for the official mock test and the main exam will cost you about approximately 15 to 16,000, but if you are booking official mock test, it will have the same scoring mechanism that you have in the main exam. So I would suggest to go for the PT Academic official mock
Uh-huh.
test. Look for
Okay.
that and book the test so that you qualify over there. But before applying for even for the official mock test, ensure that you are uh, good at the modules. How will we be able to identify we are good at modules? I'm going to talk about that in the upcoming slides.
Okay.
Okay.
No
So
issues.
I have partially answered your question. The rest of the
Yes.
question will be answered in the upcoming slides. Okay.
Sure.
All right. So let's continue. We have already discussed about the minimum score required for 8 bands and 7 bands. And for listening, we require 69, 70, 85, and this is possible. Okay. So that's the reason people, I have seen many students who have scored 90 in all the modules. We can share the evidence as well. But trust me, if you understand how the PTE is going to be evaluated, it will be easier for you to crack your PTE in first attempt. You don't have to apply or reattempt the test again and again. All right, let's proceed. So we are going to talk about few of the tips which will floating modules. Okay, so we are going to talk about few of the basic tips, basic hygiene of using the headset because the headset can be culprit to kill your speaking scores. How people sometimes speak they keep their microphone to very closer to their mouth, and which will lead to their nasal sound, sometimes their breathing sound, sometimes some hussy sound, which will spoil your test because the clarity gets impacted and your score gets impacted in turn. Likewise, my mic position is placed just next to my mouth, how you see on the screen. Okay, on the right hand side, how you see on the screen. It is just approximately about 2 inches just away from my mouth. If I'm taking my mic closer to my mouth, likewise this. So does it sound very hussy bussy now? It sounds right. So now I'm moving the mic away. You are not hearing my breathing sound. You're not hearing any other airy sound like that. Okay, so ensure that you have a working headset. On the test day, you will be given a working headset and you have the option to record a dummy voice note and listen to that once the recording is over. Ensure that you hear and listen to the noise very loud and clear. If not, then if your headset is faulty, you can just raise your hand. The test administrator will help you to change your headset. Okay. Like we talked about, you will be asked for the personal introduction. You don't have to worry about that because that is not scored. Okay, you will not be scored. This is just for the warm-up session. You can just talk about saying that my name is Atik. I'm here to write PT examination because I'm interested to go to Australia for study or for work. Okay. So next is while you are attempting the speaking module, ensure that you speak immediately the moment you hear the beep sound because the microphone gets off automatically if you do not speak for 3 seconds. If you keep quiet for 3 seconds, automatically the microphone gets off. Okay. So please ensure that the mic should not turn off and speak immediately after you hear the beep sound. And the next is in the speaking modules, though every question will have their different time. For example, if you're attempting for the first module, which is read aloud, and you will be given approximately 25 to 35 seconds for rehearsing whatever text is given on the screen. And the moment you get the next screen, the original time when you get the option to record your question, record your response, the moment the mic turns on, okay, you will hear beep sound. Turn, then you should start speaking immediately. And once you are done with the speaking, with the read aloud for reading the paragraph for about 20 to 25 seconds, because the time to record that particular response will be 1 minute. Don't have to wait for complete 1 minute. The moment you complete your answer, your response, immediately click the next button. What will happen is there will be few people in the examination center who will be yelling at top of their noise, and their voice may get recorded in your mic, and your speaking will be impacted due to that. Okay, please ensure this step and this tip is followed as well. Let's move on to the next slide. Now we are going to talk about the different modules that we have in speaking, which is read aloud, repeat sentence, describe image, written lecture, answer short question, summarize, group discussion, and respond to a situation. What are these modules? We are going to talk about one by one. Okay. So before we proceed, what has changed in speaking module? Only speaking module has changed, which has added about two another questions, which is the respond to a situation, the last two, summarize group discussion, respond to a situation. Before August 25, before August 7, 2025, there were only about uh, 5 different modules: read aloud, repeat sentence, describe image, written lecture, and answer short questions. That's it. The summarized group discussion and respond to a situation wasn't there, but now we have summarized group discussion and respond to a situation. What are those and how they are scored? We are going to talk about that. Okay. In the new speaking task that we have summarized group discussion and the what is that another module? Respond to a situation. Okay, what is read aloud? We are going to talk about that first. Okay, let's go in sequence. Read aloud is you will be given a passage, okay, for about approximately 35 to 40 words, and you will be given a screen recorder to record your response. Okay, Microsoft microphone will turn on automatically, and how the screen looks like. I think I do not have that screen. Do I have? Okay, the screen will look. You see at the right bottom corner, right? Okay, the right bottom corner, you see the image for the retail lecture. So similar screen will be there. So once you start the audio, okay, the once you click the next button, the audio on the right hand side. Okay, let me annotate this. How do I go back? Okay, you see this option. Here you will be seeing the increase and reducing the volume button if you are comfortable with that. So adjust the volume as per your convenience. And the moment the audio starts, the bar will start like this. Okay. And once the audio gets ended, you will come here. The moment this audio gets ended, automatically this recorded answer bar will start with the beep sound. Turn, then this will start the beep, and your mic will turn on automatically. You will have to record your response in your mic. Ensure that the moment you hear the beep sound, you immediately start speaking and record your answer. Okay. So this likewise this works. Okay. What is read aloud? So read aloud, it will be scored in 3 different aspects. First is fluency, second is content, and third is the pronunciation. Sometimes people assume that whatever that is given on the screen, you'll have to record each and everything, but that is not the case. So read aloud, it actually hardly contributes about 5 to 6 marks to your PTE academic, but it scored 30 marks to the people who are appearing for PTE core. So ensure PT academic people, they know don't really work much on this, but ensure that whenever you are speaking for a read aloud module, you follow these steps. The first one is, let me talk about my example. My voice is big bold. Okay. So whenever I used to give the examination, I was getting 90 speaking, but my reading score and listening score was getting reduced. Why? Because previously, read aloud module has the same score for reading as well, but my reading was going down. I wasn't sure why my reading score was going down. But later on, after multiple research, I got to know that my pitch has the issue. So, what is pitch? Pitch is something for a man, for Male, it should be approximately about 130 hertz and above. Female, because they have some nasal sound in between, so it should be about 200. So my pitch was, because I was using the thick voice, that's the reason my pitch was just between 80 to 90 words. The person who has just spoke to me, Ahmed, I guess, I think you also have the pitch problem. So in order to get better scoring in reading and listening module, I had to use the female voice. You will laugh at me, but this has worked for me. Why? Because the Pearson test of English artificial intelligence scoring mechanism is designed like that. If you have a pitch problem, so how do you know you have a pitch problem? You can download any pitch analyzer application on your phone, record your voice, and check where the graph is going. Okay. So, yeah, Ahmed, you have a question now?
Yes, I have a question. So most of the times when I speak in mobile, all people say me ma'am. But I'm talking normal voice only. But still, like the customer care or some people calling outside. If I call to
They will not be
customer,
able to identify your voice, so they identify you as a female, right? So that
yes,
happens.
yes,
That's absolutely fine. If you have a female voice, that's fine. But the pitch should be maintained between above 130 hertz. If you
okay,
have, yeah, if you have the pitch less than 130, then that's the problem. That is still
okay.
okay. Okay,
We need
like
to test it.
my voice is very thick and bold, so I
Okay.
had to use the nasal sound. Like let's say if I'm reading something, pronunciation. Do not pronounce by stressing your extra vowel like this. So I have to, use some nasal sound in between in order to increase my pitch. Okay,
Mhm.
this is the major major issue for most of the people. Few ladies have a pitch problem. Their, pitch is above 300, which is again a problem. So they should have between 200 to 300. Above 300, Pearson software will not be able to identify your sound because you have a high pitch. If you have a low pitch, again, it will not be able to identify. So ensure that we speak in the proper range. How will we be able to identify? Just download any of the voice pitch analyzer app on your laptop or your mobile or on your Android phone or your iPhone. You have many applications, free applications. Record your voice and start practicing. Ensure that you maintain that pitch. Next is content. In read aloud, let's say if you mispronounce anything, for example, here it is written as if you mispronounce, then continue and never correct. But mistakenly, if you have spoken, if you have mispronouncing, then continue and never correct. If you go back there, if you have mispronouncing, sorry, if you have mispronounced, you're gone. Because it the software analyzes that you do not know English. You do not know how to read. Likewise, if you have mispronounced anything, then please don't worry about it. Just go on. Ensure that you follow the proper rhythm. Like all those topics in a lot. For example, if I'm reading something, okay, let me just grab any book from here and read. Okay, I have a book here. Share a smallest part of the total capital of company which has fixed value in its offer to a public for sale. The capital for company is divided into small shares and positions. Here it is written as portions, but I have mistakenly written as positions. Do not go back and correct it, so that it can be purchased by all classes and sectors. So my voice is spontaneous. I'm not intonating. I'm not using any ups and downs, because if your voice is going ups and downs, again, software will not be able to identify. So though you know good English, and though the intonation is required in order to make in order to ensure that the whatever you have spoken is a question, or is it something else. Okay, for example, in Hindi, if we use intonation, that means a different language. For example, आप खाना खाओगे, तो इसका मतलब ये है कि हम सवाल कर रहे हैं कि आप खाना खाओगे. बट आप खाना खाओगे, तो हम ये बिल्कुल डरा के उनको बताएं, अच्छा आप खाना खाएंगे, आप अभी तो खाए, ये बोलने का मतलब अभी तो खाए, अब फिर खाना खाओगे, आप खाना खाओगे ये अलग है, आप खाना खाओगे ये अलग है। तो what I want to mean to say is, here intonation does not matter, but ensure that you do not hesitate, you do not fumble, just go in the constant speed and ensure that your graph don't goes ups and downs. You don't have to use the sine wave, just go in a lighter way and ensure that you complete this task. Okay, let me give you another example. Previously, I've seen many of the students who were trying to focus on pronunciation. For example, okay, they wanted to make sure that they wanted to impress the software speaking in the American accent. Okay, you don't have to worry about it. Software is designed in such a way that it can understand American accent, Indian accent, Chinese accent, Japanese accent, because this is a global software. This is a global testing language. This is not made for Indians or for any other country. This is globally accepted, so software has to understand, because the person who's speaking in Chinese, they will have some Chinese accent over there the moment they speak. The person who's speaking from Maharashtra, they will have some Hindi accent. The person who is in Tamil Nadu, they will have a Tamil accent. The person who is in Kerala, he will have a Malayali accent, right? So, how is this particular software designed? This software is designed in a neutral accent. You just have to speak in a neutral accent, so that software understands you much and it scores you accordingly. Okay? For example, if you are speaking in American or some British accent, a mutual fund is a company that pools money from investors and invests money in securities such as stocks, bonds, and short-term debt. You don't have to speak like that. You can just speak in a normal neutral accent. A mutual fund is a company that pools money from many investors and invest in money in securities such as stocks, bonds, and short-term debt. The combined holdings of the mutual fund are known as portfolio investors by sharing a mutual funds. So if you see in between, I'm pausing between wherever I see comma and wherever I see a full stop. Likewise, you will have to speak in the same way. Okay. So this is nothing but read aloud. Let's move on to the next module. So the major tip is, few people think that if I speak fast, then I'll score more. I'll score more. No, it's not like the case. It's not like the case. Ensure that software understands you, and software will only be able to understand if you speak slowly in the normal speed. Slowly means you don't have to speak very slow. You have to speak in a normal way. Likewise, I am speaking with you right now. You just have to speak in a normal, with a normal pace, with a normal pitch, with a normal, accent, and ensure that software is able to understand your level of English. All right. So it judges the rest of the modules based on your read aloud, because this is your first question, and this is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is trying to analyze you in the first question itself, what level of English you speak. Basis on that, it will score you in the other modules as well. So ensure that, because the moment you enter the examination hall, you will be a bit nervous because you will be attending for the first time or for the second time, and you will be frustrated. Okay, I've already attempted for twice and thrice. I could not make it. Not sure whether this time I'm going to, make it or not. Will I be able to score or not? Like Ahmed has said that he has attempted approximately over 5 to 6 attempts, and they just told, saying that they have not, he has not qualified, because the type of English which software understands, we are not giving that inputs. That's the major concern. So ensure that whatever the software is able to understand, we give that input accordingly. We don't have to impress the software. It's not a human. If you speak in American or the British accent, it's not going to give you good marks. It's not a human. One thing, if you speak, there are certain modules in after this read aloud, there are certain modules like describe image and retail lecture. If you give a response like a robot, or if you give a response like some ready-made template, then again software will be able to make out easily that this is not your response, but this is just a response which you have mucked up. Software is very smart. It will be able to identify whether this is the memorized answer or this is the spontaneous answer that you're giving. So ensure that you give a spontaneous, not the memorized answer. Okay, let's proceed and to the next screen. The last time, okay, the last point of this topic is ideal time to speak and read aloud is maximum about 13 to 15 seconds. Like I've already spoken, you don't have to wait for complete 1 minute, or if you have given 1 minute to answer the response and you have 35, uh, you know, 35 words to speak, you don't have to use all those 60 seconds to speak for 35. Very slowly. Preference, shares are a mix of them. So you're trying to and mix and impress the software that okay, if you have given me 1 minute, I'm going to speak for 1 minute. Though you can speak only for 12 to 15 seconds and you are the normal, if you are speaking in the normal pace, then you can record your answer within 15 seconds. But you are trying to impress the software and you give the response very lately. Preference shares are a mix of depth and equity. They act like equity by carrying the element of risk. That means your graph is going up and down with the pauses, right? Again, you're gone. Don't speak like that. Just speak in a normal tone, dot, like, the moment you start the bike, you see a engine sound, right? Like the engine sounds continuously. The moment you start, likewise, you will have to speed. If you raise, again, your speed increases. But if you do not raise, the engine runs in a normal speed, right? So ensure that you're speaking in that particular way. So how should you speak? Preference shares are mix of depth. See, again, I have corrected myself. Do not correct. Okay. You speak in a normal pace. The moment you speak in a normal pace, software will be able to identify your speaking is good, your reading is good, and basis on that, one recorded answer or two recorded answer, if you record in a well manner, then the other modules will become easy because artificial intelligence will understand, okay, this is the guy who already knows English, and it will be easier for artificial intelligence AI to judge you accordingly. Let's move on to the next slide. The next module is repeat sentence. What is repeat sentence? You will be there will be screen on this on your computer. Okay, in this on the screen you will see uh, a recorded response. For example, a question says, "Please come to the next seminar well prepared." Then your time starts recording your answer. Okay, the moment you hear beep sound, you should start speaking. Sometimes what happens is, let me go to the next screen to show you how does it look like. Okay, let me see if I can. Okay, here is the read aloud module. So if you want to practice, so these are the two different web links. Skills PTE with Nakul. Nakul is a PTE trainer actually. He is a very good guy. So you can learn from him, or there is another one which is I think Learning Language Academy. Yeah, this is the one. You can practice from either both of this. Okay, let me go to the previous one. I'm opening the question. Whatever you see here in the exam, you will see the similar screen. Okay, the left hand side will not be there. Only this particular screen will be visible on the right hand side, whatever you see here. Okay, whatever you see here. What happened to this? Okay, you will be, something has gone wrong. Let me go to Language Academy. Courses, PT, remote. Give me a minute. Huh? I'm trying to. Coaching. Open question and not. Okay. Look at the text below. In 35 seconds, you must read the text aloud naturally and clearly as possible. You have 35 seconds. Okay, the time has already started. Where is the text? Start. Here is the question. You see here on this, the preparation time has already started. Okay, the moment you see you do not have the option for skip in examination, but here in this they have given. Okay, so let me just skip for now because you will be given 35 seconds to prepare. You can just go through each and everything and ensure that you speak for 12 to 15 seconds or 25 seconds, whatever the time is given to you. Okay, let me just skip. You will see a beep sound. I heard you share computer sound. Okay, stop. Let me go to the previous question and okay. So you will be given 35 seconds. I'm skipping this question. Please look for the beep sound now. The moment you hear the beep sound, immediately start. A team of international researchers has uncovered a fascinating phenomena in response to rising global temperatures. Himalayan glaciers are actively working to preserve themselves by cooling the air in contact with their ice surface. However, it remains unclear how long these glaciers can continue to fight back against the effect of climate change. The moment you are done, though you still have time here, though you still have time here, okay, ensure that you speak properly. The moment you are done, click on the next button so that you go to the next button automatically. Okay. Likewise, we have, let's proceed to the practice material, then repeat sentence. Here's the repeat sentence. I'm opening this question. Okay.
The facts you have garnered with such infinite trouble invariably fail you at a pinch.
Okay. The moment you hear the beep sound, the recording button has started now, right? Likewise, the Pearson test of English will have the same. So whatever the transcript that you have listened, okay, you will have to answer in the similar way. And the moment you answer, immediately click the next button. Okay. So let's look for the
Globalization
next.
has been an overwhelming urbanization. Globalization has been an overwhelming urban and urbanization phenomenon.
Global warming has urban and urbanization of global phenomena. Click on next immediately. Okay. There is a tip over here. Okay.
You can
What the
speak to the
software
current
says is,
students at the information session.
okay, let me just stop this. Alright, floating panel. Okay. So how you are marked in this repeat sentence? There will be 10 questions overall, and 15 marks goes to speaking and 30 marks go to listening. If you remember, I've told you that whenever I was speaking, my listening was going down because of my pitch issues. So here is what I had to speak in the female voice so that I can get some additional marks in listening as well because I had a pitch issues. Likewise, the Pearson test of English guide says you will be scored 5 marks for fluency, 3 marks for content, and 5 marks for pronunciation. Okay, but though you say pronunciation, it's not again the English or the British or the American accent. It's just a normal accent with a normal pronunciation. Okay, so ensure that you speak in the normal, ordinary, neutral accent. Do not try to impress the software at any cost. Okay, but one problem and one issue that one thing that you should ensure here is people think that if you have just heard this question, it was about 15 to 16 words, but this is not a memory answer yet. This is not a memory, testing here, right? They are not trying to test your memory. They are testing your English capability. So even though if you have spoken for 60 to 70% of the audio in a proper way, in a proper pitch, in a proper, without any intonation, without any ups and downs, then you will be scored 100% in this marks. So whatever marks that you see here, 5 marks for fluency, 3 marks for content and pronunciation, the average of these marks will be used. Okay, let's move on to the next question, and which is the question for describe image. Previously, we could use the any template in describe image because artificial intelligence was not able to read the picture, but now the AI is advanced. AI will be able to identify what is there in picture and what is not. Okay, so ensure that we do not have a template, but we speak in a normal space. If you want to use any template, we can still use a template, but that should not be a ready-made template. For example, if you are given a graph, then you can just talk about the image provide provided is a graph that gives the information about so and so and give the access about so and so. Okay, how you are going to speak? We are going to the next slide. Okay, for example, this is the describe image. You will be given 5 to 7 questions. Each question is going to score. So ensure you attempt all the questions. 25 to 30 marks to speaking. And here, if you see, this 25 to 30 marks is for both PTE core as well as for PTE academic. All right. So what are the question types here? So how should you answer this question? Okay, let me just give you the live example here. I'm attempting the first. Okay, I'm just trying to see what's there. It's airline passenger growth and it's Delta Airlines, Emirates, and Qatar Airways. Okay, on the exercise side, except so you're giving a preparation time. You're getting preparation time of 35 seconds. So ensure you use that 35 seconds and try to get some inputs from the image. The moment you are done with the image, you can talk about the given image talks about the airline passenger growth for Delta, Emirates, and Qatar Airways. On the x-axis, we see 2015, 2016, and 17, and in the y-axis, we see the passengers in milestone. We see in the screen that it is evident the airline passenger growth for Delta Airlines has increased in 25, and the growth for Emirates is 2015, it's just about 50. As we see in the graph, it is evident that the growth for Delta Airlines was 80 in 2017. In conclusion, the given image talks about the airline passenger growth. As simple as that. You don't have to use any of the templates. Whatever you see, if you are fluent, if you are speaking in a normal pace, you will be scored in a good way. Okay. For example, if you get any phenomena, like on the right hand side, you see a photosynthesis. How should you answer over there? You just have to read what is there on the screen and frame a sentence accordingly. As simple as that. Okay, let's go to the bar graph. Second one. The image shows the bar graph for daily processor for chip output. As we see in the graph, this graph talks about for the weekly information and the daily information in the x-axis and the y-axis. In the image we see the Monday, the daily processor chip output was just above 5%, and on Tuesday it was about 10. However, it is evident that on Wednesday and Thursday it was highest, it was went up to 15 and 20. In conclusion, this image talks about the daily processor for the chip output across a week from Monday to Sunday. Right? So speak in such a way that software should be able to understand you and he should understand that, okay, this guy knows English. I don't have to worry. He simply gives the answer. If you are going to talk about any ready-made template, then though the score is going to be though the scoring is going to be given by the AI, but if AI gets a doubt, then it will send for the manual evaluation. This was not there before August 25, 2025, but after August 7, 2025, people were very smart enough and they were using some XYZ templates to get the scoring in speaking and reading. But if you want to score good, you will have to know English at any cost, because Pearson Test of English have understood that no other templates are going to be worked. If you know English, then only the software is going to give you marks. If AI analyzes that you are using some XYZ templates or some memorized template, you will be sent for the manual evaluation. If you are sent for manual evaluation, administrator will look that is a recorded answer which is not relevant to the question. He will straight away fail you. Okay, so Ahmed, maybe this was the case that you could not score in the previous examination. So let's proceed.
Sure.
Next is retail lecture. What is retail lecture? Retail lecture, you will be heard and you will be hearing the discussion between two to two different people, or you will hear a person speaking about some XYZ. So you will have to ensure that you make a notes properly and you speak from your notes. Here, the Pearson Test of English Guide, PTE Guide says you will be given 6 marks to your content basis on 10 to 12 marks will be given to speaking and reading, because you are listening and you are speaking. That's the reason you will be scored for listening and speaking for 10 to 12 marks, which is very high. Because if you are scoring targeting for 8 bands, then you should get 88 in speaking. If you are speaking, if your speaking score is going down, then and it will be very difficult for you to crack. So how to get that? Ensure that how the Pearson is going to evaluate. Basis on that, answer each and every question, which will be easier for you. So how the retail lecture works? In retail lecture, the audio will be continuous. You do not have the option to pause, right? If you see at the bottom corner, you don't see any pause button over here. But there is a trick here. What I used to do, the moment you hear for the lecture, just hear for 5 seconds. Whatever you have heard, just pen down in the erasable notepad that will be given. Or if you're practicing at home, just pen down for 5 to 6 seconds. The moment you write each and everything between 5 to 6 seconds, again here for that. Then write down. Again here. So when you hear, don't write. When you write, don't listen. Simple. That is a note taking strategy. When you listen, do not write. When you write, do not listen. But if you say, if we miss out some important topics, then how are we going to write? Nothing is important. Everything is important over here. Whatever, see, how AI works is whatever the AI has spoken, whatever the audio was given to you, if 60 to 70% content is matching from the recorded audio and from the question, then AI will give you the marks appropriately. Okay, how it works, we are going to see that by using this. Okay, retail lecture. Let me just open the notepad so that I do not have pen and paper here, so I'm just using the notepad.
The impact on young Australians who are interested in buying a home of their own has been very significant. Australia's housing affordability now shapes the typical housing cycle or housing career, as some people call it. Most Australians, in the normal course of events, are people who move through the housing cycle in a way that matches the stages of life that they're at. So, they move out of the family home in their late teens or early 20s as they gain their independence from their families. Then they rent, save for a home they can afford as either a group or maybe a couple, and maybe they can upgrade it when they have a family in their middle age, they are more than likely to have paid off their mortgage. And that means they have housing security in their old age. That's no longer the typical housing cycle for Australians. Young people generally live at home for much longer than they once did. They generally rent for longer, and they're more likely to be saddled with a mortgage, not just into their middle age, but more often than not into their retirement as well. In fact, in 2006, 65,000 retiree households were still paying off the mortgage. Affordable rent is also an elusive right around Australia. We have very low rental vacancies. We see high turnover as landlords want to maximize their profits in tight market, and we see less long-term or lifelong rental, as we see in other countries and other economies.
Okay, the moment the audio is finished, what happened to this? Something has gone back. Okay, so the moment audio is finished, then you will be given 5 to 10 seconds. In that 5 to 10 seconds, you talk about whatever you're doing. So the lecture was about the young Australia who was trying to migrate in a significant role. In the lecture, speaker initially said that there will be typical house crisis, and during this typical housing crisis, people who have moved in housing cycle has matches their life. Early, two independence was happening from families, and people used to stay at home and that they can afford. In conclusion, the speaker said that there were the housing it was which was securing at home. So whatever you see here, you just read accordingly. Even though if you are not able to frame the sentence, you just have to ensure that whatever audio that you have heard is matching your answer. Okay. So speaker further said the young people generally stay at home and more likely to stay in a mortgage home until their retirement. Speaker in end said at the end he said affordable rent and low rent was the main cost to maximize the profit as economy. As simple as that. So like you have seen here, okay, there will be 4 or 5 phrases. If you write 4 or 5 phrases, and if those sentences are evident that are matching with your audio, then you will get very good answer, very good score over here. Okay. Likewise, for fluency, don't worry about grammar here. Okay, here Pearson has not talked about grammar, fluency, pronunciation, and content. You just have to talk about whatever you have written. If I have see here, I have made many grammatical mistakes over here, but I went ahead and spoke whatever I have written. So ensure that whatever you have written is correct and just start reading that. The image on the young Australia was very significant. Speaker further mentioned typical housing crisis and people who are moving housing crisis has matches life. Speaker in the middle has said early to independence for families stay at home and they can afford. In conclusion, in mortgage home, people wanted to stay until their retirement in the affordable rent and low and maximize the profit as economy. I have given a pause in between, but please do not give the pause. Okay. So likewise, if you speak in a monotone, it will be easier for you to attempt this question. Next is summarize group discussion. What is summarize group discussion? Summarize group discussion is the module where 2 to 2 different people will be there and they will start discussing about something, some topic. Okay. So let's try to attempt that question. So how should you be there? Right? One speaker one.
3 students are talking about their volunteering experiences.
Hey, everyone. I can't believe how quickly this semester is flying by. I've been super busy with my role as an orientation leader at the university. I have to invest time and effort in planning and organizing events for new students. The good part is that I get to meet so many new people and help them learn about university life, which is really fulfilling. On the downside, it can be a bit stressful, especially during orientation week when everything needs to run smoothly. But it's worth it because it helps me develop my leadership and public speaking skills. What about you, Amy? How's volunteering at the library going?
Well, it has its own set of challenges and rewards. I really enjoy the organizational aspect of it. I've gained valuable skills in cataloging and event planning, and I feel like I'm giving something back to the community. But some of the tasks, like putting books on shelves and data entry, can get pretty boring, and standing for long periods isn't great either.
I get that. Working at the animal shelter takes a lot of physical energy and time, which can sometimes be so tiring. But the best part is interacting with the animals and knowing that I'm making a difference in their lives. But it can also be emotionally difficult, especially when you see animals who have been through a lot.
It's clear you're passionate about what you do, Sam. One thing I found is that being an orientation leader has made me more adaptable. Every group of students is different, and you have to be ready to handle any situation that comes up. I think these skills will be invaluable in my future career.
That's a great point, Alex. Volunteering at the library has definitely made me better at problem solving. Whenever someone needs help with finding a source of information in some specialist area, it's like a little puzzle that I have to solve. So I think it's made me more analytical and improved my problem-solving skills, which will come in useful in practically any job I pursue in the future.
It's interesting to hear how we've all developed different skills from our volunteering experiences. For me, the animal shelter work has made me much better at multitasking. There are always so many things happening at once, and you need to stay calm and collected. It's also taught me a lot about teamwork, as we all need to work together to ensure the animals are well taken care of. And I get to work with a variety of personalities.
Absolutely. I think volunteering, no matter where or what you do, involves a lot of teamwork. At the end of the day, it's about investing time and effort in something you're passionate about and gaining invaluable skills from it. Plus, it feels great to give back to the community.
Let's just hope we'll be able to find time to do this next semester too. Managing my time around coursework and volunteering can be tricky.
Okay, I have made the notes, and basis on that, I'm going to talk about each and everything from the notes. 3 students were talking about their semester in university, about planning and organization in the students. Student downside, it will be very stressful, but it works because it helps in leadership. Students were staying calm and they are collected. They all need to work together. Volunteering needs teamwork at the next semester too. Volunteering can be very tricky too. Second speaker spoke about the organization and the rewards, which can gain the valuable skills in planning, giving back to community. Standing for a long period is the issue for the second speaker. However, the third speaker said, working in animal shelter is tiring. Best part is interacting with animals, but it will be emotionally difficult. It is clear in orientation leader. Every group of students is different. I think these skills will be valuable. In conclusion, all those speakers spoke about finding a source of information to make them puzzled about problem solving, persuaded in future, and volunteering experience. As simple as that. So, whatever you have written, you have spoken from the audio, your recorded answer, and the audio which was sent to you, which was made you listen in the question, it is matching. So, that means AI will be able to identify that whatever the let me just go back to this so that okay, so whatever you were speaking, that was matching with the audio, and when this was matching with the audio, it will be you will be scored very easily. Okay, so I have not used any template. I have just used a structure: speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 3. Simple. Just make a notes. When you will be given the erasable notepad, ensure that you write neatly so that whenever you start reading, you don't have to you know uh, use the grammatically correct word over there. Just speak whatever they have spoken. Do not speak in passive language or do not speak active language. You don't have to use active passive over here. It is not required. Just speak whatever they have said. If you are speaking that particular word which they have spoken, the AI will try to match your notes, your recorded answer with the actual question, and then you will be scored automatically. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. Second is respond to a situation. How does this work? There will be 10 to 12 marks. There will be 2 to 2 different questions, and 10 to 12 marks for speaking PTE academic and 10 to 12 marks for the PTE core, but for listening as well. So in academic only for speaking, but for PTE core it will be for speaking and listening. Similar to a written lecture, you will have to ensure that whatever you have heard in this written lecture, there will be three different speakers, or you will be asked to evaluate what the speaker has said, or you will be given a question like there are three different people who are going to camping. Let them know that you will not be able to attend the camp. This is the question. How should you answer? So you're responding to a situation. So situation is three friends were going to a camping and you were one of them, but due to some health issues, you are not going to attend this camp. So you will have to let your friends know that you are not attempting. So how should your answer be? So hi Mike, I understand that you people are going for a camping, but due to some severe health issues, I may not be able to attend the camp. I know enjoying and going to the camp is going to be very adventurous, but last night I met with an accident, and due to that accident, I got injury, and hence I could not attend. I'll ensure that next time, whenever we are planning for the camping, I'll attend the camping without any fail. I wish you good luck. Thank you. Goodbye. As simple as that. Just have to speak about whatever you have. Sometimes you'll get a question. You're going to a school, you have gone to a school asking for the person, asking for early, admission or early log or whatever. If you are writing to a manager, so if you are going to a college, then ask the permission from your manager saying that you are trying to leave early so that you can attend the person in the hospital. How are you going to respond? Ensure that you are giving some lame excuses to convince your teacher to anybody who's over there, and he is helping you out to he's letting you go early. How should you be responding? You just have to talk about some lame excuses. Okay, my uncle got admitted to the hospital, and due to that reason, I need to take care of him. Please allow me half day leave so that I can go and take care of him. I understand that by leaving early from the college, it will be difficult for me to complete the notes, but I'll ensure that I'll speak to my friends and take down the notes and ensure I come prepared in the seminar, well prepared. Thank you so much, sir. Please allow me half day leave. You have just spoken for 20 to 25 seconds. That is more than enough. Okay. Here, if you see content is giving you 6 marks. So what is the content? Whatever the question prompt says, you will have to answer that accordingly. Question is to leave early from college. If you are talking about some hospital, if you are talking about some XYZ, that is not going to help. Okay. Your response should match with the question. All right, let's move on to the next module, which is answer short question, which will not give you any marks. So don't worry about it. We'll go to the next module, which is writing, but I have just noticed that it is 4 past 15 now. So not sure if you are willing to stay for some more time because I've already informed our meeting administrator, Mr. Shoaib sir, that we would require a sequence of sessions to complete this. We will not be able to complete in one day because this is pretty lengthy. So, Shoaib sir, what do you suggest?
Sorry, Atik bhai, are you asking me like?
Yeah, yeah. We are already done with 1 hour 15 minutes, and we have
Yes,
few other
yes.
people. So people, Muhammad Ali, Shahban Ali, Shamshad Ali, Ahmed, Hira, another Hira, and other participants, whosoever is available here. So what do you suggest? Shall we continue with the writing module and have the reading and listening in the next session, or we'll start with the writing session in the next session? Please use the chat option and you can respond.
Participant, please confirm actually, as Atik bhai is asking. Next session.
It will be good if we continue in the next session. Okay. All right, then we will continue in the next session then. So thank you so much for your time. We have